Good evening, everybody. This is Alderman Lee. It is 6 o'clock, a little after 6 on Tuesday, June 24th. We're here for a community zoning meeting to consider a zoning change that's been proposed for 2125 to 2127 South Archer in Chinatown. There was an error in the, it might have been in the Facebook post or in the newsletter, which said 2425 to 2427. The correct address, which did go out in the notifications, is 2125 to 2127 South Archer, which is actually in the heart of Chinatown. We have with us tonight Fred Augustin, who's representing the owners who are proposing the zoning change from what the current zoning is, which is M1-3, and they're seeking a change to a C2-5. Fred's going to walk us through an overview of the request. I'd ask that anybody that is not presenting, go ahead and mute your lines for now. If you have questions, we will take them at the end of the presentation. And with that, I will hand it over to you. Fred?
All right.
I'm going to share my screen and pull up your presentation. There we go. You have the floor.
All right. Thank you again. As Alderman Lee said, my name is Fred Augustin. I'm a zoning attorney. Here with me tonight is the owner of the property, Mrs. Gao, to my left, as well as her representative employee, Bo Lee. So property is 2125 to 27 South Archer. If you're familiar with the property, it's right next to the Phoenix. It's currently a vacant lot. What Mrs. Gao would like to do is redevelop the lot with a new 5-story mixed-use building. So the breakdown of the building will be on the first 2 floors. It's going to be commercial and retail space, restaurant space, ideally, or whatever commercial space would occupy it. So that's the first 2 floors. The 3rd floor will have an office space, but also 3 apartments. 3 of those apartments, one of them is going to be a 1-bedroom apartment, and the 2 other apartments will be 2-bedroom apartments. The 4th floor will be all apartments. So we're going to have a total of 6 apartments there. Of the 6, 2 of them will be 1-bedroom apartments, while the balance, which is 4, will be 2-bedroom apartments. So mixed-use building, commercial, retail, 1st and 2nd floor, 3rd floor office and 3 apartments, 4th floor, 6 apartments. And we are having a 5th floor, but it's really just a partial 5th floor. And that's going to be office space. So it's essentially a 4.5, 5-story mixed use building of what we're proposing. Currently the property is zoned M1-3. You can't have residential in a manufacturing district. So in order to get this size of a building for the height, square footage, we are seeking a C2-5 district, which if you were to look on the zoning map, the Phoenix property is also C2-5. So we're just seeking what the Phoenix property has. We are considered what they call the City of Transportation Transit Served Location, so TSL. Essentially, we're 1,000 square feet or within 1,000 feet of the China Red Line stop. That's always an attractive thing for apartments. Especially here, we're proposing 9 apartments, which will be geared towards the community. There will not be parking spaces or off-street parking spaces. Again, we have a tight lot here, but again, we are a TSL, and being considered a TSL, we could waive the parking under that. So 5-story mixed-use building, seeking a zoning change from the current M1-3 to a C2-5. We're here to answer any questions people may have. So in a nutshell, that's the project.
Do you want to go through
Sure.
any of the elevations?
Yeah,
here?
so we're showing the side elevations. To the bottom corner is going to be the front, how it's going to look. The height is going to be
This is
50.
the front elevation here.
Height's going to be 55 feet. As you can see on the top, it's only a partial 5th floor, so it's not a whole 5th story. It's just a partial. The next plan.
This TV? Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I didn't even realize it wasn't plugged in. I apologize. Thank you. Sorry for that. Sorry for those of you who are online with technical difficulties in the room, because I forgot to plug the monitor in.
We'll just wait.
Yeah, we'll wait till it pops up. There you go.
Yep.
That's gonna be the front of the
That's how the
building.
front's gonna look. So it is, we're saying 5 stories, but it's only a partial 5th floor, so it's really a 4-story, 4.5. So that's how it's gonna look in the front. And if you want,
This is in like an elevator building,
yeah, we're gonna have an elevator.
but you can waive no parking for the, even you have residential in the.
Yeah, because we're considered a transit served location under the city, so we're within 1,000. The rule is if you're within 1,000 or 1,300 square feet of a designated bus line
Oh,
or a train station.
Which they have both between the 62 and the red line.
Yeah,
within how many?
1,000 feet, and
1,000
and
feet.
they're probably
less.
less, you're probably 300 feet.
yeah.
Yeah,
Is all the residential apartment or going to be owner occupied use or for
I believe they're gonna be rental.
rental?
they're not condos.
Yeah, they're not condos.
Yeah,
They what, so what they are like apartment?
Yeah, they're gonna be
rental apartment. So a
rental.
condominium is where someone
Okay.
owns the unit itself. That's a condo unit. That's when you said owner occupied.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this would be rental, market rate rental, I believe.
So,
So how many commercial space on the first floor?
so there's gonna be 2 on the 1st floor and then 2 on the 2nd floor. Similar to Phoenix, I believe Phoenix has that same breakdown, where it's 1st floor, 2nd floor.
And then on the third floor, give me the breakdown of
Sure.
offices to
There's
apartments.
gonna be
again.
just 1 office space
One office,
and then 3 apartments.
3 apartments.
And then the 4th floor is all apartments.
The 4th floor is all apartments.
If you want to scroll down, these are just kind of rough floor plans, obviously. As you can see, the first 2 floors are, we're showing it as
Yeah.
vacant, but they're gonna be retail,
Mm-hmm.
off, commercial retail.
And you don't have tenants planned for this yet, so it's possible someone wants to do a restaurant or something, they'll have to build that out.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Questions?
Sure,
Does it have any basement?
yeah, it's right here. Right here, basement.
yeah, it's gonna be the last,
Yeah,
and that's not gonna be, there's no apartments there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a partial,
Is it like a full basement,
partial.
partial basement?
Yeah.
Like how tall are they?
I'm not sure, I could find that out for you.
I mean, partial mean,
they're not, are you,
It's
Yeah,
all
they are
under the
not-
ground, it's all under the grade.
It's not gonna be used by anyone, it's just gonna be.
It's a storage
Yeah,
or
it's gonna be like
utility
storage.
purpose.
Yeah,
yeah,
so no commercial tenant is gonna be under there.
okay.
so these would be the floor
Floor
plans for the apartments, so on the 3rd floor. You
You
have
have the
office
office on one side.
and then apartments.
Yeah.
Over here.
And then 4th floor is all apartments.
4th floor is all apartments, and you said 2 1-bedrooms and 4,
Two
oh, flip,
bedrooms.
flip.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the partial 5th floor is just gonna be a small office space.
Okay.
basically.
And are you gonna use the roof for anything, like a
Mm.
deck or anything like that? It's just no,
No,
okay. Does anybody else have questions? If you have questions, and you're in the Zoom, you can unmute yourself to ask your questions. Matt, go ahead.
So, 9 residential units, so is it below the ARO requirement? They're
It
all
is.
worker rate? Okay. And with the, retail spaces, are these 2 double-story retail spaces or like Canal Plaza where it's like tenants on the 1st floor, tenants on the 2nd floor, those are different tenants?
I think ideally separate tenants on the 1st floor, separate tenants on the 2nd floor, yeah.
Yeah, so my other questions.
I have a question about, just entryway, so. I see that the 3rd floor is mixed with an office and, apartments. From a security standpoint, is that going to, I would be concerned if I was living on the 3rd floor in the apartments, if there was open access. Public access to the 3rd floor where my apartment was. So is there a plan for like to buzz people in, or is that, cause if it's meant to be an office, I think people can be buzzed in.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah,
Just,
yeah,
I would be concerned about security.
I think, obviously we haven't thought about that, but if
Yeah.
something could be incorporated, I don't think that's a problem.
Okay,
Cause as you can see,
Yeah.
there's an entrance to the main floor and then a separate entrance for
For the apartments?
Yeah.
The entrance for the apartments is in the back? Is that what I'm looking at here?
Well, there's two forms of.
So there's
One in the front and
one
in
in,
the back.
one in the front, one in the back. Okay, yeah, but either way, if they're good, if someone's gonna come to the third floor to,
Yeah.
visit this office and they take the elevator up. They'll have access to
Yeah,
the other,
I mean, that's something we could work out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
just
Yeah.
a flag, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just as a security, public safety sort of precaution.
Yeah.
There, I know, elevators have all kinds of
Mhm.
features now where I'm assuming that, you can't just go up to the fourth floor because you want to. Like you'll have to have like a key fob or something to get in.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions? Those of you that are on the Zoom, if you would like to ask a question, you can feel free to unmute your line.
Questions about how the buildings facing, are they facing Archer?
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna face Archer.
So the driveway, there's no driveway,
No,
okay.
So just,
The
just,
walkway is still remained.
yes,
Right,
walkway will
okay.
remain. Yep. Yeah,
It
we're not-
won't take up more,
No.
or
drive.
so you're building lot line to lot line? Is that what
Close
the plan
to,
is?
I mean, close to, there's an alley at the rear, but yeah, I mean, such an oddly shaped lot. That,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, because I think Phoenix is right up to the,
It is.
I don't think, if there is a little bit, there might just be like a couple feet. It's not much.
I mean, we're gonna be lined up probably with the Phoenix,
Okay,
so.
all right. And just to recap, so this transit oriented zone, if you're not familiar with it, it says that the parking requirements are actually lowered, right? So you can go up to, it's not even a requirement.
Yeah.
What you can do is you can go up to half a space for every one unit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have 6 units, you would only get 3. If you wanted more, you could ask for an administrative adjustment, but because of the way the ordinance is written, you can waive it because we're so close to transit. The idea is to promote more people using transit and not to have so many cars on the
I
street.
understand.
Yeah, so that's anything within 1,000 feet of like high volume transit, so the
Mm.
orange line
Orange line.
on Archer and Halsted, anything that's within 1,000 feet over there, same thing applies.
Mm.
Yeah.
Was this ever manufacturing? Seems like an odd zoning for an application.
It's a good question. Was there any manufacturing use there back in the day or?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I'm 50 years old. I don't ever recall any manufacturing over there.
yeah.
In the last, maybe like longer than that. I'm supportive of this. I can say that out loud. I mean, I would prefer more commercial use there than someone come in and put some manufacturing in the middle of Chinatown. It's in a densely populated area with lots of businesses, which is why I don't have a problem with the C. It's conforming with the area over there. Everything around it is also a C zone. It's a very commercial heavy district. I'm excited to get more housing units, more apartments, as well. So, I'm inclined to provide a support letter for this. So we'll make sure we get that to you in the
Yeah.
next couple of weeks here. Probably not to the end of next week at the earliest at this point.
Yeah.
If there are no other questions, we'll go ahead and wrap up the meeting. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
The zoning that you request for C
Two,
C2.
5,
yeah,
it would allow you to build any more story,
No.
right?
No, that's the
The 5
upper,
story is the maximum height.
yes. 55 feet's the max.
on a lot this narrow,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so you get to build bigger and taller if you have more lots. So let's say they had all 5 lots.
Yeah.
They could go up more stories with the C2-5.
They have like a building ratio for the property like this,
In terms of,
like this, the size of the land, and then
Yeah.
there is.
Oh, yeah,
So
this
we-
is as big as they
yeah,
can go.
This
we
is
have,
biggest-
yeah, we have roughly like around 6,000, a
Yeah.
little over 6,000 square feet and we're
Uh-huh.
49 feet wide. So we're kind of limited in terms
Yeah.
of that. So the max we could actually go up is like 55 feet.
Yeah, it's a substandard width lot because the standard lot is 25 by 125. So this space is
Yeah.
49.
What, 48?
Yeah, 49 feet wide.
Yeah.
Now, if it was wider, then yeah, theoretically, we could go higher, but we can't.
Yeah, and this is
But
what's
the
called,
current zoning would not allow you to a building like
oh,
this.
they couldn't,
No.
no, because
Because-
it's manufacturing,
It's not for residential use.
No,
correct,
you can't have any residential.
yeah. Yeah. And this is what's called a type 1 zoning change, so the plans that they filed, they won't be able to build differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the drawings will be attached to the zoning. So what you're seeing here is what you're gonna get.
Okay. We're good? No questions from the Zoom? One last call?
If this project's approved and when will the owner starting to break grounds?
That's gonna depend on permits mostly, I think.
Yeah, I don't think we know the answer to that just yet. We're still in the early stages.
Yeah,
Oh,
and the zoning change will get introduced at the next meeting. It won't get decided on until September at this point. So, you know, the quickest the zoning change could be done is September, right? What did they need, 10 days afterwards?
Yeah, and plus we need to get an updated survey.
Yeah, so there's a lot,
yeah,
there's,
just worry
yeah,
about, the
Yeah.
traffic,
Yeah.
going on in heart of
Yeah.
Chinatown.
Yeah.
They still need to get a
Really,
permit for
really
it.
Yeah.
difficult to,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, all right, well, if there are no further questions, I'm going to go ahead and close out our meeting. I appreciate everybody joining us. This evening, this will be available to view. At the end of the week, we will send out the links through our newsletter. So thanks everybody for joining us and have a.
Sorry.
Sure.
City didn't request you to do any like green area for these types of building?
No, not for, it's a simple zoning change, so they're not gonna like make us do required landscaping or so forth. It was a much bigger development. And a bigger lot where you had more homes where essentially we would require like what they call planned development. Then they will probably make us do more like landscaping
Right.
and so forth. A greener
Nothing
building,
in this building?
nothing, because it's just pretty much a straightforward zoning. Yeah.
Interesting, okay.
All right, thanks everybody. Have a good evening.